Well, Canadians will take time on Monday to remember the sacrifices made by our veterans. But for the veterans themselves, the memories extend far beyond November 11th. Their combat experiences are something they must live with every day. And that's exactly how some of them are trying to get back into civilian life, by remembering, even reenacting, some of the most horrific moments. Robin Gill explains.
This is what Canadian soldiers see when they're in combat: violence, death.
Some things I saw over there and witnessed that were pretty horrific.
I feel inadequate, broken.
As heavy as it gets.
This is where the Veterans Transition Network comes in. Soldiers helping soldiers.
And I actually went to my unit padre and said, I'd like to be able to help them out somehow. You know, what can I do? And he said, well, one of the things you got to do to help others is to usually help yourself.
These vets have experienced post-traumatic stress disorder. A group of psychologists at the University of British Columbia first recognized the syndrome when they dealt with Second World War vets.
When they finished telling their stories, they felt so relieved. They call it dropping baggage, that they said, whatever you do when we die, be sure that the modern-day soldiers don't have to wait 50 years like we did to tell our stories.
The doctors set up a study. As seen in this documentary, troops relive their trauma through reenactments. The soldiers then figure out a plan to get back into civilian life.
I think that's one of the biggest things. It's done in a group. And it just breaks that, you know, the guy in his basement who's just struggling and hasn't been out of it for 2 years, coming into a group and talking with people and then wanting to be part of that.
Corporal Tim Laidler spent 8 months in Afghanistan. He almost shot a young boy, thinking it was the Taliban. He saw a young girl set herself on fire. His friends convinced him he needed help.
What I didn't realize is when I went over to Afghanistan, I had shut down any emotion so I could survive in such a stressful environment in a war zone. But what also happened, I shut down all of my positive emotions.
We stand on guard for thee.
And on this night at UBC, the program is being recognized by another wounded soldier.
I am now living the 20th anniversary of my mission. And there are mornings I wake up and I swear it happened that morning.
Retired Lieutenant General Romeo Dallaire saw firsthand the genocide in Rwanda. Hundreds of thousands massacred. He openly speaks about how it affected him and has become an advocate for veterans suffering from PTSD.
In so doing is creating opportunities for those who would probably have been abandoned and left to their own devices.
What started as a small study is now a national program and has helped more than 400 veterans. There is still more work to be done. Robin Gill, Global News, Vancouver.